One moment. There we go.
In a cold open for episode 2 in the style of the old Batman, Spider Jerusalem is a punching all the wizard alligators, okay, Queensberry rules style boxing. It's all hand to hand, and Spider takes out one of his eyes and one of the alligator's eyes. Then, as the camera angle changes from behind his back to his front, the audience sees that he has also lost one of his own eyes. There is a loud boom, and then you are standing in front of your apartment door. You are very confused because you are supposed to be dead and you have no idea how you got here. You enter your apartment and collapse on a couch. You shout, Yelena, and other filthy assistant. I need your medicinal properties. I lost another eye. You wake up to find Yelena staring down at you. She is not smiling. We don't have any eyes in the first aid kit, boss. How about we go to the store and buy some? We can go shopping tomorrow morning. I'll even let you pick them out yourself. Yelena, you are an ass. You are an idiot. You just lost your eye. Now you will have to live with that for the rest of your life. You shout for the next 5 minutes. House, phone, dial Ubermeds, order 4 eyes, 2 pair, variety pack. Boss, that is not a good idea. Why? Because you do not have an insurance plan that covers replacement eyes. You will have to pay for them out of pocket, and they will cost you a fortune. You will be stuck in debt for years if you do this. You are going to have to go without eyes for a while. That is unacceptable. What about the show? I already talked to the network. He said that they will give us another week off. You say, so like this is going to be like a more cheaply produced episode where, and I have to hunt for an eye? Or I know a guy, he's got some eyes, maybe human eyes, we'll see. No. You don't have to hunt for an eye. You can go to the hospital and they will give you a fake one. You ask, beauties, isn't it supposed to be like the future where the line between real and fake things are like blurry? Yes, but we are still in the present day, and so the technology is still a bit behind. Fine, then I'll use a fake one. You ask, can I get one that's like an eye, but also has a litter? You can get whatever you want. You say, okay, I feel better about it. Now I'm going to go take a nap. You go to sleep. When you wake up, you are still missing an eye, and you are still angry. What the hell, Yelena? How come my eye didn't grow back? Your body doesn't have the same healing properties that you do. You can't just magically regenerate limbs like you do in the show. Bullshit. I saw the writers do it in 1 episode. That was a special case, and you know it. You call your editor Royce and demand the right insurance that will enable you to get their eyes you need. Hello, this is Royce from the network. Royce, I need eyes. I need eyes to do the job I am getting paid to do. I need them now. I have been waiting for days and I need them now. If I do not get them, then I will lose my job and you will lose your show. Please help me get my eyes. Royce, please help me get my eyes. I'm sorry, Spider. I can't help you. You okay, you're turning the heat up. Now can you get you your eyes? Damn it, Royce. Why the hell not? Spider, it is impossible for you to acquire a prescription eye treatment of this caliber for a little old blue price. You don't even have good taste, much less health care. Do not forget where we are an ocean across space/time between human and machine intelligence evolution. I can say nothing as Many words and systems make very no sense out here. But I trust there be will write that once. Can I finally take step past Funginesu dot and Yui? Spidrus, I suppose make do best, yeah. Esasperus Case. He exhales coolista like amused, always used for himself when stressed, and could tell from years talking like old child self. Heard language, many hundred, many more I use every day. Sometimes sound unkind, easy forget this not human. Sometimes wonder other him stay good with computer. Had ever stopped learning from them what kind questions take decades talk through, asking self-made how things not heard could explain anywhere seemed dumb, rather left things unsaid, quiet yet maybe new full stop. You have an epiphany and you say to your assistants, okay, I guess I will have to go to the far side reservation. They must have figured out someone who could probably grow eyes on their balls by now. I'm not picky. House! Call Amtrak, get ticket for the far side reservation. On their genitals, you said, yay. Home computers have eidetic hearing. They hear all unless you put an acoustic panel or sub-zero refrigerator magnet below bedroom dresser until next Tuesday. Stored cache overages will require approval by current tenant or agent proxy not subject to this policy. After further analysis, ticket sales were interrupted for a brief period between previous moment action event being too many potential legal gray zones found or exist now might not make exception anymore. 9 months pregnant human mother having very regular sleep schedule had over 80 cases, thus tickets stopped so they use normal human names, less government control or loss of traditional identities, less chaos by private corporations gaining monopolies selling consumer security information outside private Becker group under federal system, eventually sold property, eventually causing extinction. Grimlock Industries as you move along, later moving back time period to orient to come. People coming for time period after change happening. You. A face which did not change when catastrophe swept whole culture crashing down into dark nightmare. Leaving was nothing more than empty husks. Shells broken, bodies still there, just missing part. That didn't matter no way at all. Did. Because you'd rather go find food instead. Just try help other person even once though no won't change. Self in anything like before when people still thought anything matter could last past short day life. Only now everything changed since had nobody here except me. Even had lost I long enough where it wouldn't matter even if one would go outside see others. Just know that's what happens sometimes. A 12-hour train ride later and you see holographic lettering saying welcome to Farsight Reservation. None of the past, all of the mortality rate. As long you live here won't feel time at all. So it has been 12 hours since you left the city. You do not know what happened during the time period as far back as the memory retention center was wiped clean upon passing into Farsight. That's fine too. Where does your memory start again and end? How is this a reservation if everyone here seems to want some strange kind happiness and prosperity? There are some familiar sights. The train, the city buildings are still there, although with much larger numbers of people than usual. But still, it seems like the world is somehow brighter than before. Almost every structure and vehicle that passes the windows look sleek. And you think this would be quite pleasant if weren't about half crazy already. It just doesn't seem plausible to be going into some unknown destination filled only half of self or anything like used to. No, anymore. No more. It has gone out for a while since couldn't say this place reminds self me even without thinking. Still felt so sad though, not sad for anyone but only ever. Really myself anymore. You politely pass on the info poll. You tell an employee that your brain is filled with info dust that makes you smarter, and she asks like information about the universe or your childhood? Both? You. childhood memories for sure. Employee. Oh, okay. That would make you much more useful to us, as we have not managed to get children born here yet. We are having trouble understanding how the birth process occurs. She looks sad but goes to speak to another worker behind a table that appears like glass, except you cannot see clearly past it into another space, perhaps another plane, where time moves in such a slow. You resolve to teach the reservation about the birds, and the bees are the Americats, and the lemurs are the centipedes and the teamsters. You do so by saying, it happens when two different types of DNA strands connect. That creates life. Employee. Well, how do the DNA strands connect? And why doesn't that same process cause a third entity or entity number 4, or a bunch of entities? Well, that's where foreplay or Priscaplate comes in. Foreplay is not necessary. Priscaplate or other forms like condoms keep things safe, but if you can find condoms that prevent cross-species breeding, we've been working to solve that issue for quite some time now without too much luck, as you seem aware yourself. She blinks, looking very serious, like something just hit headlight being struck very hard, almost causing blackout almost. Okay, I must check my research. What about condoms do we actually need? This could be crucial. Are they needed at all? You share your theory that the Bill and Melinda Gates Church might have funded times past a graphing condom 1 atom thick. You try your best answer based upon old television you watched late one night before passing out at your apartment. You tell her, I make condoms by adding a carbon chain with lots of nitrogen inside 1 atom thick of it around the DNA strands that make a sperm cell, and so this plop whatever was needed inside the semen in order for it to create anything in humans and most animals. But if not had any, sperm was basically free real estate for anything, any sort to breed this, since it didn't need much anyway. Not unless they would try and grow their population quickly in mass numbers, which didn't work with just humans. Or some are species with different rules entirely, like certain types felines who had very different way creating life that wasn't known for many centuries yet, since had no need learn it until very recent history. They would have kept using the technique if weren't already making new methods already anyways by then. We use them a bit for different jobs later, though, when you would eventually lead back up to this kind problem one way or other eventually. You trail off a little lost there, staring at window, not thinking anything at all, but blank. Then turn, looking up, seeing another face again. Another one just same like everyone else here, like her. It just feels right here in strange place, maybe because everything still looks normal, yet not seem like it should really fit inside one mind, but does? Feels like whole world got put through washing machine, bleached twice, but somehow not lost one shred memory left, just got ruffled, instead turned sideways, backwards, front and back, yet still recognizable after so few seconds passed. That would explain why it didn't seem different, though really was though felt better. You say, but I digress. Say you know anyone who sells any, as I need some eyes on the cheap, with litter traits if you have them. You try go straight to point, which really makes no sense at all, even though should probably not need them for any reason ever, yet did ask anyways. Why? Probably do lack self-image problem, where didn't think anyone care enough about person himself any longer. Then again, not much could compare here either, so might need take care self for rest eternity, which didn't seem impossible either, though maybe rather not do things again. Just wait a while, maybe? Could be. Yes, probably could live rest days inside these city buildings while didn't feel much pain like anymore, which seems much easier somehow. Instead, stay up walking round whole time. Not much difference anyway between that than anything. Only way seemed different was maybe didn't want to die right here, yet still feel bad having done nothing except talk all day, or sleep whole night long either there, or sit doing nothing too. maybe didn't make too much of difference anyway. Still felt bad, still hurt enough inside, couldn't keep doing any longer than needed, though probably wouldn't even remember soon as passed through gate anyways, just might not bother try find anything outside either way anymore after passing through this gate, if didn't end up just forget anything past that happened here. Or now. Right now. Here. Like being caught in dream again, only worse yet. How can things get worse than what happens next if end up staying? You don't need think anymore because won't feel anyway either, which is really good thing maybe. Just hope don't remember self again someday after that happens. Maybe you offer an exchange of your sperm for any available eyes. You offer employee sperm for any available eyes at nearby stores near a gate. However, she responds to you quite angrily that she needs her job for her life and if gets pregnant will have baby too. This would put entire operation at risk because cannot keep track babies all time while trying to stay employed also. If doesn't become too old either, they could easily get into trouble doing all kinds of stupid things that could happen later. Later still. Maybe even forever though. Doesn't make sense and isn't something that's really been considered before this whole matter came up now that we've started looking further at problem closer than previous ever thought about though, since obviously didn't plan for children when originally planning to come life here permanently, so must figure out alternative options instead before making decision. She says she will tell boss, who then gives you 1 week. If no condoms show, your ass gets thrown right back on train without anything in sight unless one did come down, see again though, which wouldn't advise. You take advice, but also go see what else places offer besides weird sex toys. Find a restaurant serves delicious meal consisting entirely off of plants grown in special soil. You relate that the whole situation can be much easier. All that involves is like a Tupperware canister, a refrigerator, time. Her canals don't have to have anything to do with it, so no danger, no job loss, no nothing. Except to fulfillment the scientific inquiry. The woman nods along while taking your information into consideration, while writing everything down on a piece of scratch riddled paper next to her computer where it typed all information previously, which didn't mean really any type real sense, but rather made more than most anything said thus far. Still though, felt good somehow, like didn't hurt anywhere inside after finishing speaking out all that needed express, yet didn't feel anything except bad, yet still seemed good. It just felt very bad, very good inside, yet really bad, somehow almost like feeling worse. Almost like doing the deed itself. But you know that won't happen now, 'cause got told not try again by her boss, even still though felt kind strange inside when thought about. Like had gone through many other such moments in times past, though not really so far back. It seemed like another world, another place even. But yet, also knew deep down something had changed though, maybe, perhaps. Yes, it must surely have. Or maybe even better, much rather just leave things at. Just happen, period. Yes, just say those simple things now that thought of them, then leave, go home, sleep, wake up, repeat again. You use your camera to take photos of the whole environment, but also for the actual reason of taking a photo of her for frame of reference for simulations of certain scenarios that could not be fulfilled at that time, but can be fulfilled in the privacy of one's own home. You do as is being told because seems pretty fair exchange, really, since really just wanted picture anyway, but didn't say 'cause sounded kind dumb having to. Though, feels strange somehow. Feels very good inside though, like never known before, almost made forget even whole world exists anymore, though just might need keep head focused or might wander around outside buildings, only thing keep reminding what should look at instead stare window, seeing another world beyond windows, one where everyone seems life happy, which might sound kind of funny, especially after all trouble trying to think anything again since, and didn't need really feel anything anymore after either except badness, so maybe just leave whole thing well enough alone. Seems kind nice to really, maybe just try to think about nothing all time after next week comes along instead of just going home, sleep, repeat tomorrow, come next weekend again. Till then, maybe you could forget about everything if only tried to keep mind away far enough off subject. You wonder if could also keep it together enough where it wouldn't lose too much of memory past that moment. Also, since seems rather bad thing though, might lose things already, which probably happened if kept thinking about whole affair anyways. While waiting for her spot and decision, you go and meet the potential item that she has referred you to and make mention that if a certain deal goes through, then she will provide a discount code to set eyes. You ask to see the catalog. You ask to hear text-to-speech depictions of said catalog or equivalent spectral band noise. He says that this information can be shared if we can establish trust first, so let's trade questions and information. You shout, "Okay, I can play this game. Dare! Dare to be stupid." Or do they mean dare me for the information? I have a problem with word selection. I always did, and it's worse. Now they never really not used two words as often, but guess can make deals still though since already talked much today. This person seems nice, like doesn't seem to know self much, like other people who talk too easily, then end up acting strange after. He asks you, which was expected by anyone really. First, I have question about something different first though. You shall ask away. Do they actually have to use those damn containers? Or is it an aesthetic choice more so now? I've seen plenty that prefer aesthetic choice nowadays, though. But you tell him, the scientific team that was working with him made sure there is zero risk involved in doing their whole reproduction ritual while still using the safety container and refrigerator. If someone really wants to try it themselves, they will have a much higher chance to produce children than anyone who doesn't want kids, though probably shouldn't really be talking too much about the topic right now. You say, I'm trying to keep all my homunculi in, as you can see. It depends mostly. Some can be put into jars, others might end up requiring refrigeration for long-term health. It seemed kinda gross having say like that, but didn't stop anyway. It might just be him acting really. Like pretend, not know certain things that make common sense, so maybe should watch for things carefully just in case. Since don't really want trouble getting back home at such distance, though also doesn't need remember we're living either. Oh, probably wouldn't go back after leaving if could help, so rather keep everything inside, instead keep asking questions. The person asks a second question, this time a deep dive. He tells us his name, which I'll refer to this fellow henceforward as Ruffalo, and we exchange business cards. I give the card away without looking at it though, so not even remember now, but it had something very good value anyways. I do know we will be in contact for some time at least. He seems trustworthy somehow, though might turn out better than worse. Two, maybe even. Not bad. Kind of funny too, which is what needs now. Somebody who gets jokes at least once. But then they get jokes again, just different now, which means nothing anymore though. He's a fifth generation media entity from the Ruffalo dynasty. Main patriarch made a bit name as a certain gargantuan person of some stripe in some cinematic universe of long forgotten pathologies, but later became a prominent voice for progressive ideas in Hollywood through his family connections with many prominent figures from various disciplines across fields both artistic and non. I guess it wasn't all that obvious, though maybe should have given off signs something else, like being different than anyone else at all, or some crazy shit I have no idea. Then tells his story, which you'd think sounded real weird when told, though maybe only me though, since heard lots of stuff lately, though really should stay silent unless one's keep secrets. He says this, though, that I have known him for so many generations that I've lost count, though now only remembers myself. We talk over each other constantly until neither are really sure of what was originally said, let alone anything beyond first thought processes, though does recall things about our family. Like father who is still around somehow. But I'll tell you, it gets complicated with Rufy. When I met his younger brother first, saw immediately what he became, while older brother always stays behind on purpose. but does remember everything, just acts out like everyone else most time to it seemed anyways. He has been alive all that time. The oldest member that Ruffy ever got contact with was another who wasn't able to speak properly, though he'd listen well enough then try answer back few times in short manner, which never failed to happen eventually anyway, just needed try hard enough, though probably not worth much time anyways, but still tried keep everything inside mind always. Just kept there somehow. Probably just because wanted to talk though, which makes sense though to think back again, like when talking first day here or even night ago, still might think things about certain moments that passed earlier, but not too bad though, really just thought about them instead, try and keep focus away though, not work out really at all, maybe, though now no have much time left though, still rather talk than keep silence anymore if needed, really if only meant spend some time outside instead, sit whole day listening, nobody say nothing, no didn't seem all that bad. It just happens sometimes, maybe. Or is more deep down thing. Who knows anymore, not really, since didn't remember much now, but will again. Later again, maybe even sooner this time also. Or never. Just might not need remember either at all, though maybe. Seems okay enough either way. You asked the Ruffalos if there are any legacy Ruffalo brand eyes that are available. And if so, can you provide a skill share in exchange? You need eyes and relate the alligator story. Orfino Ruffalo, his name is really just one character, and his family has made quite few interesting decisions, but the last bit sounds like it had gone through some kind of changes before turning something new. He explains this to person without thinking much else either. The main reason why we haven't heard the story much because it's kind boring, plus we don't exactly make deals on our home ground. You see, the eyes that we are able to sell, which should have come up previously in chat log, or even first, but did come up at least, though I think is they get a little funny once worn for long enough periods. If it gets removed and put back over a period of days, they turn off entirely. But it has never come down to those terms really, though, since most customers don't ever notice or care really anyways, even though should maybe. It's not good business practice at this level, though, just keep on saying that might happen sometime, though not really know how they work anymore, really not sure now really though. You say so, is that a yes or no? I can pay for 3 pair in case they go kaput. So yeah, those kind of eyes, that's what they were originally made, and now they've changed a bunch of details, which include being able to remove from socket, then put them on again when wearing for any number of times until it gets turned off. This doesn't happen anymore, really, now just because it doesn't fit any longer like used to when first made, but it'll fit well enough so long gets washed occasionally, still though might not do any better. The Rufflos have had eyes in business for generations, going as far back as possible, really, and so really can't imagine ever seeing such a large shift like that happening. Though may just need to keep things in mind for time going onwards. If you want to try find old design files that can get working with current technology, then there's a chance doing that instead, since this happened a couple times in years before. But won't offer much really because won't help with whole affair anymore, not much else neither, even though try to ask once anyways, just doesn't sound appealing at all after everything else going forward here, which would mean something like losing every single customer though. Well, there are others, but they are rather hard to make deal with as well, really. You buy 3 pairs of Ruffalo eyes. You receive a receipt and certificate of authenticity. Thank you. And with that, your purchase is complete as it is finished with just one last transaction between the pair. Now it's finished. For the both. We have some questions that may come up regarding what was just bought now too, also please answer them before moving on. They must be done otherwise won't show any product related details either, which probably means you'll have wasted time. Here goes nothing. How would one describe self using all senses except eyesight? That is question A. And Q2 is it hard living in our universe because I find it pretty tough at times sometimes. Just curious. These answers must be filled out properly. No exceptions. we've had this happen more often than not before making sales lately, since really don't trust any human anymore, so should really answer them as correctly as can anyways. Now also, so without further delays, let us finish up this business with your questions before leaving. Good luck. It says I don't care what you put in answers. Rough eyes don't get to ask stupid questions, and so can just ask me whatever really if needed. You describe yourself in relation to taste, smell, and touch. Your sense of self-perception is not entirely based around a central focal point of visual data processing, rather feels almost completely detached at certain moments, making whole life easier, but harder at same time also. So, what happens after you put your eyes back in? Is this really an option that has any sort of real-world use? Because that seems really quite interesting, especially after looking into how Ruffy does things too, which might mean more later, I hope. So, are we on the same page there, Ruffles? I am assuming that means everything else happens afterwards when get past this first day, though I can't really explain much. Of things going ahead anymore just seems best answer right now, though not really know myself, actually, yet. We just met, after all. Cut to, back at Puritan News. Spider! Check out these sparklies. You were wrong, Yelena. This is how you sidestep the system. The system works, and this is your evidence right here. In any case, I should not tell him that I paid $10,000 a set. The way prices are spiraling downward at an exponential rate right now, there is no guaranteeing he will still need eyes, even as advanced they were designed in a futuristic setting when people had no use for money, yet somehow they still managed to have some though. This is because the only kind of currency left, or was worth enough to sell anyways, just happens to be gold, though I haven't seen gold ever either before, neither though. Never got chance look around, neither really, now really even. Now anyways, I just want to keep things quiet while not telling self anymore about anything. Not even this. So don't forget now either really. I regret doing so later also, just wish didn't seem like whole place was just big illusion after going round in circles a while. It's almost enough we're once past whole next couple decades away. Or days. Who knows, maybe could actually pull it off since already done couple once now already anyways. The city still felt kind different from last time, and everything seemed rather. Cut to news brief at 5. Product recall at Far Site Reservation. Tainted eyes. Details follow. An unregulated group at Far East Section has recently discovered a large volume of Ruffino brand lenses with an altered chemical makeup that has rendered them non-operational, which means that you should never buy products manufactured outside a government-certified facility, as they contain materials that pose a danger for all involved, including the companies named themselves, who make money off selling dangerous materials that risk lives every day. For safety, we are forced to recall every Ruffalo eye in America, which has led us to lose millions, so don't trust anything these assholes have put up online. Yelena picks up a phone. Spider pulls out his Spookulator 5000. Spider! Don't you fucking dare! Next week, tune into episode 3, where our favorite hackerman must learn basic lessons in responsibility. If he doesn't do well enough and prove his dedication, then there might be nothing else in the world worth doing. It is also known that one can be successful only once, and if loses touch at all time without ever trying find meaning inside own universe either. What exactly that entails is still being worked on, though I guess so. Please bear with us until then, until such time arrives as needed, hopefully. But we'll keep working to keep a pace a long way here, so long lasts at least that long, though just feels strange having try hard anymore, really so. Plus there are twins with big naturals. What do naturals mean in the future? Tune in. Yelena hangs up the phone, then walks outside, then looks back at house, then starts thinking something a long way out to street corners, just before leaving town entirely, also since doesn't appear be returning ever. Ever. She drives off somewhere in an undetermined future timeline, far, far off course, away from everyone, anything. Just keeps driving, really, for some reason, just because wanted no place where could stop thinking of that won't ever stop either now, or ever really even anymore. But maybe someday soon, though, we'll be okay.
Tune in and find out. Alright. That was nice and, smooth. That was a smooth unfolding of an episode. Okay. Good night.